Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. In today's video, I'll be using Scrapbook.com's holiday gift and Christmas gift die sets. Both sets make it super easy to assemble a card that looks like a gift all wrapped up in ribbon. They're perfect for Christmas cards, birthday cards, Easter cards, graduation. The possibilities are endless. The pattern paper I'll be using for the first two cards is Scrapbook.com's Happy Stripes collection. It's available in both 6x8 and A2 sizes. And if you're interested in any of the products I use in this video, I will have them linked in the description box below. I've already die cut out all the pieces and I have them stored in Scrapbook.com's large stack and sort tray. And inside that tray, I have their new silicone inserts. They have two different sizes and they fit perfectly inside the stack and sort trays. They'll hold all your die cuts in place so they don't shift around. For the background of my card, selected this lovely pastel striped pattern paper, and this is A2 size. I'll be adding pink ribbon and a pink bow, and this color is from Scrapbook.com's Jolly Smooth cardstock paper pad. The pink matches beautifully with some of the pinks on the background. For this card, I used the holiday gift die set. It doesn't have the faux stitch detail. There's one ribbon piece that's shorter. This one goes across the card. And then the second ribbon is a little bit shorter. This will go the long direction on your card. When adhering the two ribbon pieces, I would suggest putting the shorter ribbon down first and then the longer one on top. Now I did it the opposite direction and both ways will work, but I think the overall finished look is better if you have that down ribbon on top. For a little extra detail on the ribbons, I'm adding some white polka dot rub-ons. And I'm using Scrapbook.com's polka dot black and white rub-on set. I cut out just a small portion of the polka dots, and one at a time I'm adding them to the longer ribbon and also that cross ribbon. I don't need to add any of the polka dots in that center area, especially on the cross ribbon piece, since this is where I'll be adding the pink bow. Now I'll start adding some of the white polka dots on the cross ribbon. On the left side, you'll only see a tiny bit of that ribbon, so I'm only adding 2 of the polka dots. On the right side, there'll be about 1.5 inches of it visible, so I'm only adding polka dots in that area. I ran out of polka dots, so I'll grab the rub-on sheet, cut out another small section. I love rub-on designs like this. You could use a large chunk and make a full background, or you can just cut out some small pieces and add little accents and details. So I'll add just a few more polka dots on the right side. I have 2 more left on this sheet. For now, I'll set it aside. Next, I'll assemble the bow. There's one die piece that has the full bow. Then there's an individual piece for the top of the bow and then another piece for the tie in the center of the bow. I'll be adding a little bit of ink along the top of the bow. I'm using Catherine Pooler's Party Dress ink color and I'm inking it on my cut down version of Scrapbook.com's Project Grip Mat. I'll also ink the top of the tie section of the bow. Now before gluing it all together, I'll quickly clean up my mat, and I'm just using a baby wipe. Now I'll glue the top portion of the bow on the main bow piece. Make sure those are lined up together. I love how all the bow pieces have this beautiful embossed detail. I did cut out a second tie piece just to give it more stability. So I'll glue those 2 pieces together, making sure the inked one is on top. Now I'll put glue on the back of the bow, but I decided I would pop up the strings of the bow and also the top areas. I'm using the small foam squares from Scrapbook.com in the 1mm thickness. In the center of the bow, there's already some extra layers with the 2 ribbon pieces. I'll remove the release paper and add the bow at the cross area of the 2 ribbons. For a sentiment, I've already stamped out "You Are Awesome," and this is from Scrapbook.com's Just a Note stamp set. I stamped it on the tag die that's included with the holiday gift die set. I'm adding the end of the tag piece, the little hole area, underneath the tie of the bow. On the other end of the tag, the fishtail area, I did put some foam dimension. I did cut off the very end of the tag, that little hole area, and I'll adhere it underneath the tie area of the bow. Before I adhered the tie piece of the bow down, I did put a small scrap piece of cardstock so it stays at the same level. So I guess I really didn't need to trim off the end of that tag piece, but I still would have put a small scrap piece to fill in the rest of the area. I added the last 2 white polka dots in that little gap area underneath the bow. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. For card design number 2, I'm using the same happy stripe pattern paper and holiday gift die set. I've already stamped the sentiment "Love You" on the heart tag, and this sentiment is from Scrapbook.com's Sweet Valentine stamp set. For this card, I'm adding a mint green bow, and this mint green cardstock color is from the Fresh Duo paper pad. And just like the previous card, I'll ink the top area of the bow and also that middle tie section. I'll clean up my project grip mat using a baby wipe, then I'll assemble the bow. I'll start by adding that top area of the bow onto the background bow piece, making sure they're lined up perfectly together. I did cut out 2 of the tie pieces of the bow, and I'll simply glue those 2 pieces together. Then I'll grab my card, and I selected the stripe with the light mint green, red, pink, and then narrow white stripes. And I've already adhered it to an A2 size card base. So this time I'm adding the cross ribbon down first, and I'm putting it about 1 1/4 of an inch down from the top of the card. Then I'll add the longer ribbon, and I'm also putting it about 1 1/4 of an inch in from the left side of the pattern paper. Next, I'll add the bow, and I did pop up just the top area with some more of the small foam squares. I'll remove the release paper, put glue behind the rest of the bow, and adhere it in place, and I'm putting it at a slight angle. Now before adding that little tie piece, I'll first attach the "Love You" tag, and I will pop it up using more of the small foam squares. I'll remove the release paper, put glue behind the little hang tag ring, line it up so most of that area is underneath the tie of the ribbon. So it looks like it's actually connected. Now I'll put glue on the back of the tie piece and adhere it in place. So there's the main card, very easy to assemble and a super cute design. I'm stepping it up a little by adding some highlights using a white gel pen. This is an easy way to add a fun detail to your cards. I'm adding a small line around the curves of the ribbon and bow and ending it with 2 small dots. I'll put 3 little dots in the center of the bow on the tie, and I'll also add a few highlights on the heart tag. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. I love the color combination on this card, and I think you could use it anytime throughout the year just to let someone know you love them. The new Happy Stripe pattern paper works perfectly with the new holiday and Christmas gift die sets. For card design number 3, the pattern paper I'm using is Scrapbook.com's Yuletide collection, and I'm also using one of the sentiment stamps from the Yuletide stamp set. I selected this lovely vintage green pattern paper for the background, and I've already adhered it on an A2 size card base. For the ribbon and bow, I'm using some of the pattern paper. It looks like a solid, but it actually has a slight linen texture look to it. This card features the Christmas gift die set. It has a fun faux stitch detail on the ribbons and the bow. I'll add the shorter cross ribbon down first, and this time the longer ribbon goes all the way across an A2 size card. The bow includes 4 different pieces, so it has the main background, the top of the bow, the bottom of the bow, and then a tie piece. We'll start off by adhering the bottom area of the bow, but before adding the rest of the bow, I'll need to add the 2 tag pieces. I'll put foam dimension on the back of the bow, just not in the very center area. Remove the release paper, put glue behind the rest of this die cut piece and adhere it down. The Christmas gift die set also includes a little ornament. I used more of the pattern paper from the Yuletide collection. This is a red with that linen texture look. And for the top of the ornament, I used some gold holographic paper from scrapbook.com's holographic mirror paper pad. I'll add the little tie piece to the top of the bow. But before adhering the top area of the bow, I'll first add the tags. Starting with the sentiment tag, I stamped a Merry Christmas, and this tag die is included with the Christmas gift die set. At the very end of the tag, I'm putting some foam dimension, and this time I used the 2mm small foam squares. Scrapbook.com offers their foam squares in 1, 2, and 3mm thicknesses. I'll put glue behind the rest of the area, and I'm making sure it goes underneath that top area of the bow, right underneath the knot. Next, I'll add the ornament, and I will add some foam squares behind the ornament, just in the center, and I'm using the 1mm foam squares. Then I'll put glue behind the top area of the ornament and adhere it down. Next, I'll add the top of the bow with the knot, put glue on the back, and line it up with the background piece. So there is the main card design. This time I'll step it up by adding some sparkle. I'm using Trinity Stamps Gold Holographic Sparkle Spots. I believe there are 3 different sizes included in this set. I'll pour out some in the small stack and sort tray. Now, one side of the sparkle spots, you can feel that glitter. The other is smooth. You want the smooth side down and the glitter side up. The sparkle spots are available in a variety of different colors. I only have 3 or 4. I think I may need to pick up a few more colors. The glitter is secure, so it won't make a glittery mess. And if you mail a lot of cards and you need some beautiful bling that doesn't add the extra dimension, these are perfect. To adhere them to the card, I'm first adding a small drop of Barely Art glue, and I'm picking them up using the wax tip end of Scrapbook.com's Craft Pro Pick tool. And it's hard to tell in the video whether the sparkle spots are right side up or upside down, but I'm making sure to flip them over so I have the glittery side facing up. I'm adding them randomly on the card, making it look like it's part of the wrapping paper of the gift. I'm also alternating the different sizes, making sure to include plenty of the large, medium, and small sparkle spots. I think I'll add one more in the lower right-hand corner. So there is my finished card, and again, I did make 2 using this design. It's so nice getting a super early start on some Christmas cards. I think I've made 3 so far this year. For card design number 4, I'm using Scrapbook.com's Heirloom pattern paper, their Treasured Garden dies, Heirloom Butterfly dies, and Essential Sentiment die set. I'll also be using the Christmas gift die set, but I'm not making a gift card. Instead, I'm using just the longest ribbon piece. and I cut out 2 of them from this light tan pattern paper. I'm using the 2 ribbon pieces like a border die cut. For the background of my card, selected this lovely light green design with foliage and flowers. This piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. I'll add the 2 wavy die cut pieces on the left side of the card, about 1/2 inch in from the very left side. After the first ribbon piece is down, I'll add the second one about 1/4 inch to the right. Now these are a little bit longer than my pattern paper background piece, so I'll flip it over and with a pair of scissors, I'll trim off the overhang. And I'm using Scrapbook.com's titanium scissors. Now I'll layer this piece on some green pattern paper. This is also included in the Heirloom collection. That piece is A2 size, using Scrapbook.com's deluxe adhesive roller. I'll put more adhesive on the back and add my card front onto a card base. Now this design would also be really cute with the gift, having 2 ribbons going down, and then you could add 1 or 2 going across. But this card won't be one of the gifts. Next, I'll add a stitch circle die cut, and I use white cardstock for the circle. Put glue on the back, adhere it on the left side of the card and a little bit closer to the top. I've already die cut out the images and sentiment. I'm adding 3 of the Heirloom Butterflies. I use this soft peach pattern paper. For the butterfly bodies, I use the brown pattern paper from the Heirloom collection. I love the fun pierced detail along the wings of each of the butterflies. The butterflies are super easy to assemble. I'm just putting a tiny bit of glue in the very center of the wings and then adding the body. For our sentiment, I'm adding the word thanks. For the shadow outline piece, I use the same dark brown that I use for the butterfly bodies. And for the word thanks, using more of this light tan that I use for the wavy borders. I just selected some of the lighter color on that sheet. I'll adhere the word on the shadow piece. I will be popping up the butterflies using the small foam squares. For the smallest butterfly, I will need to cut 1 of the foam squares in half. I have 3 different foliage pieces, and I use the same green pattern paper I use for the very background. I'll add all 3 of the foliage pieces down first, putting them more on the left side of the circle, leaving a little gap on the right side so I can add the sentiment. I'm not adding any glue behind the very top area of the leaves. Part of them will go off the edge of the circle, but I could also curl up the end, giving it more of a dimensional look. If they overlap a little, that's okay. So once those are down, I can add the sentiment. For the area of the sentiment that goes off of the circle, I will put some foam dimension. There's some narrow areas of the sentiment, so I will need to cut more of the squares in half. I'm adding the foam pieces behind the N, K, and S. I'll add 1 more foam piece, and I did remove the release paper so I could curve it around the top of the letter K. Now remove the release paper, put glue behind the rest of the sentiment and adhere it on the right side of the card. I'll make sure the sentiment's on nice and straight. I can still adjust the left side that has the glue behind it. Now it's time to add the butterflies. I'll remove the release paper, putting the largest butterfly above the sentiment. And since I only have foam behind the middle of the butterflies, I can curl up the wings for more of a dimensional look. The medium-sized butterfly will go on the left side, and the smallest butterfly will go underneath the medium-sized butterfly. For embellishments, I'm using some enamel dots from Altenew. This is the warm gray color. I'll put 3 in the upper left-hand corner and 2 underneath the sentiment on the right side. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. Now here's another look at the 8 cards I made using Scrapbook.com's holiday gift and Christmas gift die sets. Both sets make it super easy to assemble some fun gift cards. But you can also use some of the dies individually for other elements on your cards or projects. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links in the description box below. Scrapbook.com is always releasing fun new products. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.